How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? The radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. I have with me on the phone line Coach Byron Smith, head coach of the Prairie A&M University Panthers men's basketball program. Panthers coming off a tough loss on this past weekend against Texas Southern. We will now hear from Coach Byron Smith. Coach, how you doing, and welcome to the show, sir.
I'm doing well, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Okay, we got to go through them sometimes. They say we got to take the good with the bad. Kind of recap, if you can, what happened on Saturday. End up losing, of course, 95-90. I guess the greatest head scratcher is giving up the 21-point lead with about 8 minutes left. Give us your recap.
I just think we just kind of took our foot off the gas a little bit. Maybe start celebrating a little too early. Didn't do a good enough job getting back, in defense. And at the end of the day, Texas Southern, they didn't quit. I tip my hat to them. And you can go back and you can play it back a lot of different scenarios and things that happened during that game. But didn't take care of the ball. Turned the ball over too many times. A couple of our best players, better players, got knocked out of the game. I didn't really hear anyone really talking much about that. Devontae Patterson, best player in the league, I think. If he's out in the game, the chances of winning kind of goes down. I don't know if anyone noticed that. Gary Blackston didn't play the last 4, 5, 6 minutes. He got knocked out of the game. So, a little bit behind the 8 ball in terms of body. Dennis Jones fouls out. So, there's a lot of things you can point to. But at the end of the day, they had more points on the board than we did at the end of the night. And the how, and the why, at this point in time, Mike, it's not really significant. We just didn't get it done.
Right. Well, they say experience is always going to be the best teacher. And I know, being the competitor that you are, you got some things that you got locked back in the data bank. And there's going to be a trilogy. You can guarantee that. And you'll know. Before we move a little bit further, you made mention about certain guys getting knocked out. One of the greatest concerns was, it appears, and you can help clear the air for me, that there was a stall approach. The four corners started coming in a little prematurely. Would you attribute that to thinking it was a large enough lead? Let's milk this thing and get out of here. What was going on at that thought pattern?
I think, Mike, if you know basketball, which a lot of people have comments and things like that, I don't really get into it a whole lot because their level of expertise in basketball and head coaches are, miles apart.
Right.
But I will tell you this, that whenever you do have a lead and you're kind of turning the ball over a little bit, I think you err on the side of caution a little bit and try to take time off the clock. Now, a stall, I don't call it that. A stall is corner Dean Smith things back 30, 40 years ago. So I don't really recall it being that. I think more or less what it is, the coach recognizing that their defense was picking up, that they were being allowed to be very aggressive with us and trying to steal the ball and going for the ball. We didn't get a lot of help there. Not trying to make any excuses with the referee, but Mike, also, if you look at the foul count, they shot 39 free throws to our 14. I mean, a lot of things that happened in that game that, we're not really hearing a lot about. You shoot 39 free throws to 14. I mean, how much of a chance do you have? But I just think it's a testament to the Panthers, the players, and I'm going to be selfish and say the players who are the ones that have to get it done. That we were up by as much as we were up, with a huge gap in free throws. They shot 25 more free throws than us. Now I can see we're playing Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Texas, not Texas Southern. They're shooting 25 more free throws than us. But again, you win, you lose. It's a make or miss league. You win the game, and you lose the game. The how and the whys don't really matter. But I felt and we felt as a staff and as a team that we needed to try to utilize the clock to our advantage. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
We're talking right now with Coach Byron Smith of the Prairie A&M University Panthers, losing the round 2 of the Texas Southern Prairie View basketball meetings. Of course, with the tournament round the corner, there will be a third time. I can almost guarantee that. The good news is this, Coach. It does not affect your seeding. You're still on top of the conference. I was saying, although this was a big game coming up, to me what's more important is this series you got coming up starting this weekend against Jackson State, and then on Monday with Grambling. Give us the mind process now of your squad as you get ready for this critical road trip.
Well, we're still in first place, still 9-1. I still think the best start to conference maybe in the history. I don't know. Maybe you said back in the 60s. A lot of people.
1961 and 1962, Panthers started out 10 and
Yeah.
0 and 12 and 0. You tied the
Right.
1961 record by winning 10 consecutive games. So once again, you've taken this program to places that hadn't seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm. But getting back to that, yeah, it always kind of seems that that's why I always talk about, like, if you ever notice, I always talk about the next game being the most important game on our schedule because it's the next game up, and that's always been our approach. And even had we won that game against Texas Southern, these games would still be looked upon as the most important ones because those next ones up. Jackson is always tough at home. They don't score a lot of points, but they don't allow you to score a lot of points. So, we're going into it'll be a pretty hostile environment. They've lost their last two games on the road, so they'll be hungry to kind of get back going again. They're 6-5 right now, and that's normally kind of where Jackson is at this time of the year. But they're scrappy. They're well coached. And obviously Grambling, I'm sure they are chomping at the bit to get us on Monday night because I think we kicked them pretty good when they were here a couple of weeks ago. So I know revenge is probably on their mind. So these next two games are very important, and I think if we come away with these next two games, I think we probably will pretty much put maybe I won't say a nail in the coffin, but I think that'll go a long way towards us securing maybe the first conference championship since 2003.
Absolutely. Which would be very exciting and very well deserved. And leading up once again, with the fact that this was a rival game and you didn't have a Monday game, that kind of gives you a little head start preparing for these two teams. When I think of Jackson State, I think of a more physical, board-crashing team. When I think of Grambling, I think of a more finesse, slice, and dashing type squad. Would that be a fair assessment?
Correct.
How do you prepare for these two differently, I guess, attacking teams?
Well, we prepare the same way. I think we prepare for everybody the same. With obviously, the scouting report in terms of personnel, you do make adjustments and things like that in terms of what they have personnel-wise. But I think for us, we always attack it with just unbelievable effort, energy, enthusiasm, and toughness. And we come out and we try to play each game like it's our last. And I think it'll be important, against Jackson, to get off to a fast start. We did not. We got off to probably our slowest start of the year of conference against them here a few weeks ago. Low-scoring game. I think we only had 23 points. It was 31-23 at halftime. Jackson, which is very uncharacteristic of us because I think we're the second highest scoring team in the league. Last time I checked, so it'll be important for us to start fast on both ends and to try to take the fight to them, try to speed it up a little bit more because I think they want to kind of slow it down and kind of grind it out a little bit, ground and pound, if you will. Whereas on Monday night, Grambling has probably got, one of the most, if not the most, one of the most talented teams in the league. And they can throw a lot of different players at you that are very versatile and can do, a lot of different things on the court, especially on the offensive end. They've got size, they've got shooters, they've got speed, they've got quickness. I mean, they've got, they've just got a multitude of players that can really hurt you in different ways. So that game will be really, really together these guys defensively. Mix it a little bit. We won't probably play as fast against Grambling as we did, as we probably will against Jackson, because Grambling can play that type of style of basketball, and it's probably more to their advantage. So, two contrasting styles and teams, but our style will always be the same, that we will come out and play as hard as we possibly can. We play every time we play each game like it's our last game, and just play with unbelievable urgency because we're playing for a lot. Mike, what we're playing for right now is to be able to get the respect, the loyalty, and the respect from our environment and where we are. We work really hard. These kids work extremely hard. The coaches work extremely hard, 6 and 7 days a week, and sometimes that may not always be apparent to individuals that come and watch games and things like that. It's easy to pass judgment and say, well, we should have done this, we should have done that. But, what we're fighting for is our place in Prairie View history. And I think, once we accomplish that, which I feel very, very confidently that we can, it's going to be a great day. It'll be a great day on the Hill. And then that's what we're shooting for. To go undefeated, Mike, is extremely difficult. And sometimes what something may appear may not be actually that. But I think that we're heading in a positive direction. The morale is extremely high. The guys obviously, felt bad because, we felt that, we could have put a staple, on this thing had we taken care of our business on Saturday night, but we didn't. And for whatever reason, it didn't happen. But we're still optimistic, enthusiastic, super excited about the opportunity that lay ahead of us, and we're going to attack it that way.
Once again, we're speaking with head coach Byron Smith of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers men's basketball program. Coach, I always say this, one game does not make a season. There's still plenty of basketball left. I know the disappointment in your student athletes. I know the disappointment in you and your staff. I know the disappointment in PV Nation and abroad. What was the message and the lesson learned that you shared with your team after that game?
Well, you go from being a hunter, which we've been for the past 20 years, to being the hunted. When has Prairie View outside of Texas Southern been a game where people check on the box? This is a game that these are the best. This is the best team in the league. It hasn't been that way for a long time, and in my recollection, has not been. So you tell these kids that, hey, you know what? Everyone wants to knock you off. You're going to be some teams' conference championship game. You're going to be some teams' postseason playoff game or what have you. In the past, Mike, has always been the Texas Southern Prairie View road trip being the toughest in the league. I think a lot of people would agree to that. So it's always been us and Texas Southern being, a game that people would check off. If we could split or win that road trip, then, that's a big deal for your program. But now we sit, kind of on the top of the league and saying that this is the University of Houston, if you will, because they've gone from the hunter to the hunted and being the number 9 team in the country, and everyone wants to try to knock them off. So the message is that they really want to make their season by beating you, and no lead that you have is ever safe. And you're gonna have to play till the final horn because teams feel like the game's never over, and they're gonna keep fighting. They're gonna keep fighting because there's so much at stake if they do beat Prairie View right now. And being that Texas Southern feels really good about being the only team that's been able to knock us off, through the first 10 games of conference. So I think our guys, they understand it. I think they have accepted, that this has happened. That but we go right back to the drawing board. And but again, I'll tell you, Mike, anytime a coach you tell a coach he can get 10 wins in a row. I think he feels pretty good about that, and I think you can tell these student athletes if they can have a 10-game winning streak. I think most of them would take it.
Oh, no doubt,
and run with it. But there's a lot of meat left on the bone, Mike. And listen, Mike, we're talking about chicken, so that's a big to us as African American people. So we're gonna get back on that bone, Mike.
Yes, sir.
And eat some more.
And keep on eating. Look, and let me give you a little hard time before we move forward. I like how you slid your U of H reference off in there. I know you're alumni, and that's a good thing. Good thing. We're talking with Byron Smith, head basketball coach of Prairie View A&M University men's basketball program. The stage is all set right now. That's water under the bridge. You can't let that game beat you a second and a third time with that starting Saturday against Jackson State. Now, like I stated earlier, to me, this is the season right here. This could really set things up for down the road, not trying to get too far ahead of the cart, if you would, but this is really a critical road stands. And as you say, the next game is the most important game, and it's going to start this Saturday in Jackson, Mississippi. Panthers 9-1 taking on the 6-4 Jackson State Tigers, and then they will either take on a 6-5 or a 7-4 Grambling State Tiger that Monday. And of course, we'll be right here giving you updates, information, and interviews. Coach, as always, I want to thank you, and I want to now allow you some closing thoughts for this segment.
All right, once again, thank you again for having me. It's an honor and pleasure to be a part of your show. And you've been unbelievably supportive. And it's always Prairie Nation. A lot of well wishes and congratulatory remarks to our players and to our coaching staff and things like that. And, you know, we got some unfinished business. And, you know, it's one of these deals where, you know, you like to go through a season to be unblemished. But, you know, there's lessons to be learned, you know, in these situations when you don't take care of your business, but it just makes you more humble and it makes you more hungry to get back and to go in and finish the job. So our mindset now is we have to finish. That's what we talked about today at practice. We have to finish, get back to the court, get back to games, and let's go ahead and finish this thing out in a positive way. So we can be champions and we all can have something to celebrate.
Absolutely, Coach. In the mortal words of Mortal Kombat, finish him.
Yeah.
Finish him, and it starts this Saturday from Jackson, Mississippi. He is Coach Byron Smith of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. I am the radio guy, the Dr. Mike Prince. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is Open Mic Broadcast Network, and of course our website obnradio.com, and the 24-hour dial-in message line 713-570-6736. And until the next time, you guys be blessed. We'll see you on the other side.